Welcome back to Docs Off Topic. So today I had planned to continue working on the dividing head, but I'm just not feeling it. So what I might do is make up the drawbar for the mill, because the current drawbar is imperial and it's really difficult to get imperial size tooling if you're buying new. So everything that I'm buying uses M12, so I need a new drawbar. Now I've managed to source a commercially made one for a milling machine, but it's 450 long and what I need is 300 long. It doesn't have a flange nut, so actually the nut or the head on that drawbar actually disappears into the hollow spindle. So we'll have to turn up some stuff. And along the way I'm toying with the idea of making another one of these for button dies, just bigger, to take the 38mm diameter dies, because it'll come in handy. For example, M12 by 1.75 pitch is a 38mm button, and I'll need that at some point in the very near future for the dividing head anyway. So that might involve forging a blank, because I don't have any stock that's big enough on hand. So that's kind of the plan for today. We'll see how we get on, and let's have some fun. necked in. Center. Mostly correct. So we're going to machine one of our forgings. This one's got to come down to 50 millimeters. We're currently well over that, and we're a bit off center. Once we've got this nice and cylindrical and faced off, then we'll flip it around, change the jaws so that we can grab a wider section, and then we'll machine the shank to true. At the moment it's an interrupted cut because we're a bit off centre as well. So we're only cutting on this little section here at the moment. We have about 5 millimeters to get off. Alright, so we're almost all the way around. Not bad. We're definitely making progress. So for those wondering, we are now having a contiguous cut in the outer, I don't know, 5 millimeters, 6 millimeters or so. We have reached the back of the hub, so we now just need to get rid of this area here. That's probably about 3 millimeters worth. Currently we are at 51.4 and our button die is 38 millimeters. So we've still got a little bit of meat to play with. Hopefully we'll get enough off to actually make it look pretty, and still have enough material for the holding system. If anybody's wondering, forge scale is a lot tougher to cut through than mill scale. So yes, I'm using a steel bit. Holding up reasonably well. It's probably the next couple of passes it'll be time to resharpen it. But I'd go through carbide like nothing else in this knife doesn't work using carbide. It's just not rigid enough for it. Pretty good progress. So we're just facing off so that we get rid of the hammer marks and that last bit of mill scale. We have actually achieved a full round. We ended up at, what was it? 47.25 millimeters. It's 3/4 of a millimeter smaller than I wanted, but I don't think that's going to make a difference in the scheme of things. So let's finish facing this off, then we can flip it round, do the shank, and then we can start working on the socket. Actually, we might do the socket first, then flip it around and work on the shank, so we've got everything as concentric as we can possibly get it. So we don't have all that much forge scale left. Alright, we've just got the tiniest little bit of scale left. Alright. I'm going to do it now, I'll forget. Alright, so now we need to drill out so we can start boring in. So the next major thing that needs cleaning is the table and the ways, and then I need to do the chip pan, but essentially we're pretty much ready to have her hooked up to power, so it shouldn't be too much longer. Today didn't go quite according to plan. Discovered that the coupling nuts that I used for my parallel acting split nuts in the gingery lathe stripped out, so I've had to go back to the original half nut, which is not particularly good. Works, but it's not great, and I have to hold it engaged, otherwise it gradually works its way free. But let's see, that's the original drawbar, so that's the 1/2 inch. This is the metric version that I've done up. I've turned up a little thrust washer that is the right size to go in the spindle with the tiniest little bit of play. So the spindle internal diameter is 20.5 millimeters. This is 20 millimeters. So there's a little bit of play, but it's enough to keep it centered and snug so it doesn't, when the mill is running at speed, doesn't end up throwing and going out of balance. I did forge a blank, I did start turning it, and that's when the split nut decided to die. So I haven't finished boring it out, but it is turned to size. It's 37.5 millimeters. No, yeah, 37.5 millimeters. I was aiming for 38 millimeter, 40. It's 47.5 millimeters. I was aiming for 48 millimeters to give myself about 5 millimeters of wall thickness. As it is, I'll end up with about 4 and a bit millimeters, which is neither here nor there, which is adequate for the purpose. Got way more shank than I need, and I've still got forge scale to deal with. So in the next video I'll finish this one off. I'll do the locking bolt for the wheel lock for the dividing head, and I'll probably turn up the permanent spindle so we can get that done, because there's no reason not to get that done at this point. And then in the next couple of videos we'll do the worm carrier and worm mounting. I need to order some bushings for the axle for the worm, so they'll have to come in the mail, so that's a couple of days waiting for that. But otherwise everything's progressing nicely, so yeah, this is where I'm going to leave off. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up, feel free to share on social media, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget, and ring the notification bell when you do. So get out to your shop, have some fun, but do stay safe, and I'll catch you for the next one.